Good morning, everyone. Thou mayest refer to me as John Winthrop, founder of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, and a firm believer in the Puritan ideals. Religious persecution during the early to mid 17th century in Britain was running rampant, and my fellow Puritans were being driven out like rodents. Seeing God's true light being obscured in such an unjust manner hath moved me to establish a noble settlement in New England under the watchful providence of God. Moreover, taking some thousands of my brethren, we fled that foul place they called Britain, and set out on a fair ship called the Obella, to seek a new home in the howling wilderness, in hopes of establishing our own holy community, united under God in this strange new foreign land. I sayeth these words to answer the question, which had the greater impact on English colonization, religious freedom or economic opportunity? It is of the utmost importance to be able to have the answer to this imperatively important question, as many of the infidels may attempt to veer you away from the true path of God's will. I see it as my duty to protect my faithful Puritan brethren and uphold our core values. I was the shepherd for my people on that fateful day while on board the Arbella, when I delivered a speech denoting how our end product in the New World would be a city upon a hill. Here is but a scratch on the surface of the divine words that left my mouth that morn. Therefore let us choose life, that we and our seed may live by obeying his voice and cleaving to him, for he is our life and our prosperity. On this quite quaint day, I will prove that it was the will of God that truly shaped our humble settlements while we rested in the new world that God has provided for us. The colony I governed over had its noticeable beginning on June 19, 1630, when our city upon a hill entered the first stage of creation. We hoped to set the precedence of other governments around the world by kindling the first sparks of democracy and promoting education over all else. Furthermore, on a majority vote, we chose to found the prestigious Harvard University in 1638 in the hopes of it aspiring to be something exponentially greater than just a small building in such a mysterious, unexplored, vast swath of land. To further expand on my earlier sentiment regarding democracy, we set the first bar on October 29, 1630. That day, I, the governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony, by a show of hands gave all the free men of the colony the distinguished right to elect legislators or assistants. In a colony so precious, order and harmony must be maintained at all times. As such, that is why I have assigned faithful magistrates to enforce the law against blasphemy and punish those who do not attend church services. This effective way of religious loyalty undoubtedly rubbed off on other lesser colonies. The holy 10 Commandments set forth by God serve not only to outlaw blasphemy, but also to ensure our social survival. The very same laws that outlaw murder and theft also make blasphemy a crime. The regulations that structured the government also constituted the church's attendance. The reason our colony had a significantly smoother development than our cousins in Jamestown, Virginia, is because our stability, which we so piously upheld. We dutifully allowed government decisions to be determined on a democratic basis. However, only confirmed churchgoers were allowed to vote, which consequently was the large majority of us. Money and economic wealth alone would have never been able to maintain a level community. We would be seized in dreadful uprising concerning whose money is whose and who conspired against who, as we so diligently observed in our homeland. In point of fact, we and our cousins in Jamestown did indeed starve and almost face extinction itself. However, what set us apart was the events that transpired afterwards. Instead of trying so primitively to immediately turn a profit, we strived to erect the first churches and basic towns in the vision of the one true God, followed by Harvard College, which was supplied with the first ever printing press to grace America, and finally, schools. In addition, while my life did not extend to the pinnacle of this event, I hope is coming, our noble monarchical Puritan cause in the motherland was on the track to success. Me and mine were not only ones to flee Britain in search of holier pastures. These other refugees included Baptists, Congregationalists, Presbyterians, as well as smaller minority groups such as Huguenots and members of the Dutch and German Reformed churches. Even though they had a different style of worship than us, our belief teaches us to be lenient in our acceptance of other manners of praising our Lord. Likewise, our community was never closed off and unkind completely to other religious minorities. We strive to uphold not just one internalized belief that we all Puritans share, but instead a general belief in our Lord. Private, concise, and differing religious practices were not condemned wholly, to say nothing of large movements, which were always expressly forbidden and prevented as they threatened our security. In light of the faults of the Church of England from which we fled, the ministers of the Church were not granted the large reach they possessed in our motherland. In like manner, all men are equal before God, and so our idle colony did not extend such a power to our religious institutions. Alas, why should the Church of England be called the Church at all? Its birth consisted of just an unruly king by the name of Henry, who could not accept the authority of the true representative of God on earth, the Pope, and so unrighteously took the title for himself. To conclude this cumbersome tirade, all of the aforementioned causes and effects were conceived solely from the Puritan ideals of which we so stoutly oppose and uphold. One only needs to look so far as Britain to see the reason why. What kind of nation loses control of an entire continent? I'll tell you what kind. The kind that has played its trump card and lost. The kind that does not have God's all-powerful light shining upon them, helping them grow from a wee sapling into a grand, majestic, unbowed oak tree. In the end, it will be our Puritan work ethic, our sense of mission, and our moral sensibility that will cultivate the holy greater image that this colony has strived to begin filling in. Our humble Massachusetts Bay Colony may one day aspire into something no nation in the world could ever rival.